You gotta give me one thing. I'm a scary judge of talent.
Adolphus Washington back-to-back plays.
The Detroit Pistons select Luke Kennard from Duke University.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Triple Double Podcast. We've been off for a couple weeks on a quick summer vacation, but we're back, and not only are we back, but we bring back the Corey and Corey podcast. We got Big Corey Tucker, a.k.a. Coach Tuck. Tuck, what's going on, man?
What's going on, baby? Back in full effect here. My man Morrow, a.k.a. Slam.com, to my left. He is getting ready to be at the draft tomorrow. Okay, that's a lie. He's sitting right here watching the draft tomorrow, but hey, we got to get this done so Morrow can get out and break it out, man. It's glad to be back in the building.
It's a big opportunity for you to come back on the podcast, man. Everybody's happy for you. You know, you guys, all Ohio Red, just qualified for Peach Jam, so you got to be in a good mood this time of year.
Man, you know what? It was a heck of a journey. A lot of doubters, a lot of people, a lot of people in house didn't think we could get it done. A lot of people outside the house, a lot of these great writers around the state, and also not so great writers around the state didn't think we could get it done. But I got great kids. They did all the work and made me look good because at the end of the day, all I do is sit there and yell. So, yeah. So
You just yell?
Yeah, I just yell. So
No coaching?
According to some people out here, man, I'm just a yeller. But, all love, man, for these kids. They got it done. They played extremely hard in the face of adversity. They didn't blink whenever I asked them to do something down the stretch. They never blinked. And They made it possible, man. They made it possible. So we're going to go down here and see if we can mess some stuff up, man, and throw some wrench in everybody's plans. And I told them, we're playing free now. We made it. We did the hard part. Now let's go down here and have some fun.
Man, when one of the first real team that I coached that was good with the Queen City Profits, I had the 16-year-olds, and Ozzy was coaching the 17-year-olds, and we got invited to the Gold Super Showcase, which used to be a huge deal in Orlando, as you know, Tuck. And he told the team before we got on the vans, he's like, forget about the Gold Super Showcase. He's like, you guys have been playing together for 3 years. So this is our last 5, I think it was 7 days back then, our last 7 days together. He's like, just go enjoy it.
Yeah.
So that's what y'all are going to do at the Peach Jam.
Yeah, man, we have worked extremely hard, and the kids have really worked, especially Don. Like, Don Penn's been the last remaining soldier from the team we originally put together 3 years ago. So, caps off to him for sticking it out and getting where nobody thought we could get to. So we're just going to go out here and have fun, man. I tell these guys, you guys have earned it. Let's just go out here and play, man, and see what happens.
I hear you. Well, we're going to talk NBA draft today, but before we do that, I want to get your thoughts on a couple things. Number one, what do you know about these new guys, 275 hoops?
Man, the Morrow and Fleer look-alike combination.
They're out here.
They're out here. They are out here. You know what? Here's the thing. Morrow and Fleer, man, do an unbelievable job in Columbus. And the fact that they extended their brand down here to Cincinnati, that's pretty live, man, because I can't wait for the exposure. It reminds me a lot of CincinnatiPrepHoops.com, baby! Because Corey had a lot of exposure for those kids that never got the exposure. And I think that's what Morrow and them have done, that formula works in Columbus. And I think it's going to work a lot here, man. I'm excited.
I'm impressed with these kids.
They've been everywhere, bro.
They've been to so many camps that Steve Gentry, the head coach at Deer Park, called me. He said, Corey, did you retire? I told him that's why I went to NKU camp yesterday.
You got to show your face, man.
Everybody thought I retired.
Those guys have been everywhere that there is a team playing. Even in Columbus, when Hughes and Woodward were playing up there, they were up there. So, shout out to those guys. Haven't had a chance to really meet them. I've seen them doing their thing and actually didn't want to interfere with them. But I tell you, one of them, he didn't have a Morrow beard. His beard hadn't grown in.
Yeah, a little young.
He's got it's going to take time.
Right.
Take time, man. So
they got the gear, too. They got the shirts.
They got the gear.
Yeah.
They got the gear. They got it down pat. So I'm excited, man. It's going to be a lot of exposure for the kids around here. And I know coaching high school, I'll be able to see those guys a lot. So I'm excited.
About 2028 is they're going to be as far west as California, I think. 270 hoops.
The formula works. They're going to be under 270. It's going to be a circuit.
The other guy I want you to give a shout out to. I ran into him yesterday. Your name came up. I told him you were coming on the podcast. He said he listens a little bit. He's trying to learn the podcast app. He's out here for the kids in Cincinnati. Police officer, I believe, for the city of Forest Park, Officer Nate.
Nate is a deputy sheriff, big time Wynwood supporter, huge Leroy Walker supporter. And Nate's a great guy.
A lot of the kids from the Princeton
Love
schools,
him, man.
the Wynwood schools, a lot of the kids.
Yeah, Nate does a lot for the kids, in the community, man. It's just he's been an asset. I've only known him for a little bit over a year, man, and he will do anything for anybody. Unbelievable guy, man. So just a blessing to have him around and being with the kids. It's really good. Nate's great.
And he's a hell of a big basketball fan.
Oh man, and we'll challenge everybody to a one-on-one game. That's his thing. Now team, not so much. Defense, never. But he is a one-on-one guy, and he will talk trash to any kid. I've seen Nate physically impose a 10-year-old on the block. So, Nate is that guy.
That's like what you would do to Morrow in the video game.
Morrow's been running, bro. I just got to throw that out there, everybody. Yeah, I can't let him be quiet like a mute over here to the left. I've been challenging you, Morrow, for NCAA football, Super Tecmo Bowl, anything, Madden, and you've been running. You've been running. You're in shape.
And none of us are runners.
No, we're not runners. Coming up to your place here for the podcast, I had to stop 5 times. So there's not running to be involved. But Morrow has been running from this whooping. I told him the next podcast, me and him gonna be just playing the game right here. And in the background, I'll be whooping your ass.
In fairness to Morrow, though, were you here on time?
I was here on time. So.
Was Tuck here on time?
No.
I ran into it. Did you see the traffic?
I did.
Someone almost died.
I did see the traffic.
I don't know who it was, but I said a prayer, stopped, and kept it going. And then now I can't get in the gate that I got in last time. Now you guys got security because it's summertime, so I had to go all the way back around. It's rigged. Carl, you don't want that heat. You don't want that heat, bro. You don't, because I turned into a different guy when I got that sticks on my hand. Ask Trent Donald. Shout out to Trent Donald. No, man, my main man Trent Donald suspended for cussing over the mic.
Really?
Yeah, you didn't know he was suspended, bro?
No, I can see it though.
He got suspended off of the 2K team.
You can't cuss.
I don't know what he did, but he got suspended. They put out a press release and everything.
Only a kid from Cincinnati.
Man, got fired from a professional video game organization. My man Trent, man, he'll be back though. Somebody will pick him back up.
No doubt.
Ron Artest to the league, baby.
So speaking of the NBA, what were your thoughts on the finals?
Loved every minute of it, man.
Yeah.
Loved every minute of it. KD, I was hoping he didn't come back. I was telling my cousin we were watching. If he comes back, he's gonna tear something. And I don't been claim to be a prophet, but man, I know when the guy's holding his calf and when he's holding that Achilles. So sad situation for them, but it opens up so much for my NBA team, the Lakers, brother. When those two guys went down, oh man, the floodgates. Everybody wants to come to LA.
You're like Sonny. You're back.
I'm back.
You back.
Like my man Sonny, as he resurrected his record at Fly to the Hoop, I'm back, baby. Woo!
Both of you were barely over 500, right?
Who was that? The Lakers and who?
Lakers and Sonny, right?
Oh,
right around.
Wow. Morrow doesn't speak much, but when he does, he throws shots.
Well, because at Flying to the Hoop, he had just got back to 500.
He
did.
did.
Like the Lakers.
Well, my Lakers, we were a little bit below 500. We struggled a little bit. LeBron went down.
You got your bigs now. You got your bigs.
I got my bigs. I play my high-low game. You know me.
Yeah, I know.
I love to play my high-low game on 2K, so it's pretty much inevitable, man. That when we get either Kawhi, Kyrie, Jimmy, Horford now wants to come over. It's no surprise. Yeah, it's coming. It's coming.
You sound like Coach Bob recruiting kids for AAU.
No comment on that, bro. I'm gonna leave that one alone. I'm definitely gonna leave that one alone.
Well, let's get into this draft a little bit. So we wanted to talk about today. Obviously, we had to do an NBA draft episode if we're going to do a podcast about talent and scouting and all that. So I was going to go through some guys here. I want to get your thoughts and kind of preview the draft. First pick, everybody knows, Zion Williamson's going to be that first pick. You think he's a can't-miss guy?
He's a can't-miss guy as far as prospect and talent and marketing, everything that the NBA promotes. And it's opposite of what the NFL promotes. But yeah, you can't pass on him. You pass on him, and he becomes what everybody thinks he becomes, and you no longer have a job as a GM or president of the basketball operation. So you got to take him just off of the potential. And I think he's in a great situation, a better situation than he was a week ago. With you add a guy like Brandon Ingram who could be a go-to guy in this league. You add a ball brother who can defend, they can pass first guard. So they got the 4th pick. I think they'll trade it to get another vet in there. It could be a great situation.
Not LaMelo. What's the old one? Lonzo to Zion could be real fun.
Lonzo to Zion, and then you got Josh Hart in the deal too, who's a solid 2-way guard. The Pelicans, with a good coach, like that's the thing with good old Alvin Gentry. He's going to get him just good enough for somebody to come in and take his ass out of there, and then they'll become really, really good. But it's a great fit. It's a great situation for him to come in, and a lot better than it was, when AD was talking about not coming back, and he was going to be the man. Good situation for Zion, but yeah, he's a can't miss prospect.
Yeah, I mean he's the no-brainer number one. I just wonder, if he'll be able to live up to the hype right away, and that's if his body can handle the 82 games. That's what's going to be interesting to see.
Yeah, I think his body would be a test if the conditioning and being able to play a rigorous 82 games against guys your size. He's not going to be able to do all the stuff you saw him do at Duke because he's playing against grown men, but he will be in transition. And I think in certain instances, you'll see that flash, but not nearly what you saw when he was at Duke going against, boys.
With the 2nd and 3rd picks, most likely you're going to have John Morant, kind of under the radar guy from Murray State. And then 3rd, you're going to have R.J. Barrett, most likely going to end up with the Knicks. And I was reading something today on him. At Duke, he averaged 22, and it was like 7 and 6 as a freshman in the ACC. He goes from being the consensus number 1 to the number 3. And all I read about R.J. Barrett is people are down on him. Like, I don't get it. I just don't get it. I love him.
Well, look at the stories. You got the year of Zion.
Right.
And then you've got John Morant, who came out of nowhere as a freakish 6'4", 6'5" point guard. Great high-level athleticism, competes at a high level on both ends of the floor. RJ, all he did was score the most points in ACC history as a freshman. Like you said, you already mentioned those great stats. So then you turn around. He had nowhere to go but down. It's kind of like when the kid has been the consensus number 1 guy, and everybody, because he reclassed up a grade.
And they're trying to nitpick. I mean, some of these guys are saying that he should be the 7th or the 8th pick. I think I can understand 3rd, but anything below than that is a crying shame to that kid's game.
Oh man, and he'll prove it. He's the type of kid. He's got great foundation. He's got great support. If you know his dad rolling and the way that things are over there, he's going to be ready for New York, the media, and everything that comes along with it. He's in a great situation.
And you want to talk about scoring real quick. If Zion goes to, let's say, North Carolina, how many points does R.J. Barrett average at Duke?
Right.
It might be 30.
Right. He have to average 30 for them to compete. So
right.
It's going to be an interesting situation. And then, for the first time ever, like I was telling somebody, I'm interested in watching the draft because of that 4 through 15 range. Who's going to go where? Like that's.
Well, speaking of that, so 2 guys. I think there's kind of 3 sets of guys there. You got your proven winners, you got your one and dones, and you got your kind of multi-year, 2-year guy type of things. But 2 guys who are going to go in the lottery are guys who played in the national championship game, proven winners. You got Virginia forward DeAndre Hunter, Texas Tech forward Jarrett Culver. What do you think of those guys?
Love Culver's upside. Love his upside. I mean, he's a sophomore when he comes out?
Mm-hmm.
Kid's got tremendous upside. Winner, plays on both ends of the floor. Everybody, I don't think people had a chance to really watch his game. And I think Texas Tech played a muddy game. They played defense first. So you didn't get to see that this kid is an offensive stud. And he's going to show it. And then Hunter, I mean, he's a do-everything guy, man. I think people get knocked for, staying at certain schools longer than they're supposed to. But that guy's got 7'1" wingspan, crazy athleticism. And then he's going to develop the skill necessary to have a good 10, 11 year, career in the NBA. He's going to be an NBA solid guy for 11 years to come, man, if he just stays the course. So.
And DeAndre Hunter's another one where with the guys Virginia had, he went through games where he didn't take a lot of shots, but he can do a lot of things. And it just kind of goes back to the whole NBA thought process in the draft is, do you want guys who can help you right away or guys who can be, great players down the road? You think Culver and Hunter, those guys could probably help a really good team next year in some capacity?
Right away. Those are going to be guys similar to my guy at Malcolm Brogdon.
Logan Brogdon?
No, Malcolm Brogdon, Milwaukee Bucks. They're going to come in there. They're going to be able to contribute right away to a winner and help them maybe get to that next echelon. Just like my guy Brian Snow's, his role model, Kyle Guy.
Oh, loves him.
Loves him. So B Snow looks up to him. And speaking of him, he's on the screen right there. That he's going to be a guy who can come in right away, and I think he contribute a la Kurt Heinrich type situation like that. So, interesting, man. Some of these guys is going to be really interesting to see what happens in this draft.
Well, the one and done guys are obviously in there, and when you got your two, you got your Zion, and you got your RJ Barrett, but after that, you've got some one and done guys who I think are polarizing. There's some who people are really high on, some who people are really low on. Some of the big names, the point guard, you've got Kobe White from North Carolina, Darius Garland from Vanderbilt, who only played like 3 or 4 games before he got hurt. You got Cameron Reddish from Duke on the wing. You got Jackson Hayes, Cincinnati kid from Texas. Nasir Little on the wing from North Carolina. Keldon Johnson and Tyler Harrow from Kentucky. Bull from Oregon, who also didn't play very much because of injury. Kevin Porter from USC and Romeo Langford from Indiana. What are your thoughts on some of those guys? Any of those guys you really like?
I'm a huge, going back to EYBL, watching them, Cam Reddish fan. I think that he fell into the Kevin Love or Chris, what's my boy's name, played with Chris, I'm played with the Heat forever.
Anderson? Birdman?
No, the
Bosh.
Oh, he fell into that third wingspan. Like he was the third guy fiddle. He had to find his buckets where he could get them, and I don't think he was able to show his whole game. Had he went to somewhere like a Kentucky or somewhere else, I think he'd be in the top 3 pick because that kid consensus can fill it up. But I think he's one that's going to be slept on. Bobo, I don't know. That's going to be tough. But the Jackson Hayes, I think I'm excited to see where he lands and see what he can do. I'll never forget when you told me about the kid. He was playing JV. We were going to watch Cove Calf and Moeller. He was like, man, the best player on Moeller's on JV.
So I looked at a report that I sent to college coaches, and I sent a report from the JV game because I happened to be there early because it was a big game. And I sent in the report, I'm like, I usually don't do this, but there's 2 kids on Moeller JV. One of them is a one and done in the NBA draft, right, and the other one's going to the University of Cincinnati and Jeremiah Davenport. So, you got to keep looking. What do you seen the kid Porter from USC?
Yes.
He's good.
He's good, and he's got NBA. Like, the one thing that about the NBA you can translate to if you can score the basketball.
Mm-hmm.
And that kid can score the basketball. So, and he can score it in a myriad of different ways. He's not just a one-way guy. So, it's going to be really interesting to see where he lands. A lot of it is really about where you go, though. Like, if you go to the right place where you can grow and develop into the player they want you to be, then it's different. But if you go into a situation to where they need you to be the man right away, this is the NBA, man. It's going to take these guys time. A lot of these guys we're talking about now, they're going to taste that G League.
And there's a lot of guys who people wouldn't have thought going into the year would be in this mix. Tyler Harrow, Jackson Hayes, Kevin Porter, Kobe White from North Carolina might be the number 4, 5, 6 pick. No one would have thought he'd be a one and done. So it's been an interesting one. Morrow, you like Nasir Little from North Carolina.
Saw him in super sophomore camp long time ago.
I did get to see his game. I don't know what Roy was doing with him all year. I never really got to see how good he could really be in that North Carolina system. Talking to more people who had a chance to watch him a little bit closer, and some guys that I know, were at a lot of the games. They were saying that the way Roy's system is set up, it's like you got to learn, you got to run, you got to rebound, you got to defend, and I think Narcisse he can do a lot of those things, but the most important thing he could do was fill it up and put it in the bucket. But I don't know. I'm excited for his pro potential. We'll see.
I got to see him live in Columbus in the round of 32 against Washington. He had a couple flashes, but yeah, I agree. The numbers weren't what people thought they were. And Kobe White ended up being the freshman with the big numbers from North Carolina. Let's talk about a couple multi-year guys. You were talking about guys who can help you right away. You got P.J. Washington from Kentucky. Brandon Clark's name is blowing up, Gonzaga forward. Ty Jerome from Virginia. Eric Paschal from Villanova. Rui Hachimura from Gonzaga. Grant Williams from Tennessee. And a guy like big kid Bruno Fernando from Maryland.
Winners. That's what you talk about when you talk about all those guys. If one thing they got in common, they know how to win. And that's the only way you're going to be successful in this thing is if you know how to win. Those guys are going to bring a winning attitude. They're going to bring a winning mentality. And they're going to do the little things. Like those are the guys, the humble guys that ends up being like a Richard Jefferson, being playing in the league 14 years. You're like, man, how did this dude play the whole year? He doesn't do a whole lot. One thing super. He does just a whole lot of things good. So
they got a niche,
and they're gonna find
PJ
their way.
Tucker.
And they're gonna find their way. Like the ones out of that one that kind of stick out a little bit. I love PJ Washington, man. I just watched him develop from when he was just a guy on the block who could dunk to his skill set and how much it's advanced since then. He's gonna be an interesting pro, man. He's gonna be. Can he be a Dale Davis? Can he be Antonio Davis? Can he be one of them gritty guys? Like it's gonna be interesting to see. So.
The other one on that list that's really interesting is Rui Hachimura. Just being Japanese, there's a lot of marketing ability there. His career is going to be fun to watch. I think he's got. Everyone knows he's got a lot of physical ability.
Yeah, great player.
Will probably be better in the NBA with a more open game. His versatility is really valued there.
Yeah, the NBA values more of a guy who can space the floor and kind of off the bounce, be a little bit different off the bounce. So it'll be interesting to see. It'll be really interesting to see, and I'm excited, man. The draft is something that I usually watch maybe the first 10, 11 picks, and then you just kind of pick up from there. But I think because we got a couple of Cincinnati guys who are out there kind of floating around, and some of these other guys, you just want to see where they land. I'll be paying close attention to the whole thing. I do want to see where some of our guys land.
Well, speaking of the Cincinnati guys, we talked about Jackson Hayes. The other one, Darius Baisley, everyone's talking about him nationally, being that he didn't play basketball this year, either on a semi-pro level or college level. Sat out this year. There's some reports from 30 minutes before we recorded this that he's going to go in the first round. Some people are saying he's going to go in the second round. What do you think will happen with Darius in terms of is he going to be in the NBA next year? Is he going to be in the G League? And what do you see happening in his career?
Shout out to my man Rich Paul. That's my guy, Clutch Sports, baby, throwing it out there. But he set the stage for my boy. But no, man, Darius, I think he'll be a first-round pick. I think he'll be a late first round. I think he's done so much in his pre-draft to kind of, get everybody over the qualms. Now, what happens is they go after about 3 or 4 foreign guys in a row, and it knocks guys out the first round. So, as Steve Logan, still a little salty about that.
He's hurt.
He's still hurt about that to this day. But at the end of the day, yeah, Darius his upside is so crazy. Like, I remember he was at OBC. I was with Adidas my last year with them.
Before Nike hired you.
Before Nike got me. Before I got on with Nike. Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Corey.
Try to get the timeline.
No problem. The timeline's perfect. Thank you. He was on the team with Dwayne Cohill and Robbie Carmody, both Division I players at Dayton and Notre Dame, respectively. And that was a really good team. Coach
Aarons was on that team.
Aarons was on that team at Ohio State. Vincent Williams at VCU.
Sincere.
Sincere, who's at Duquesne. So we're sitting in our suite in Vegas, and all the freshmen are around, and we're talking. And I told Darius, and I reminded him this the last time I saw him. I said, when we were in Vegas that day, who did I tell you was going to be the best player out of all y'all? And he looked, he thought, he said, you said it was going to be me. I said, yeah. I said, the light just hadn't clicked. And everybody who saw him play knew the light just hadn't clicked yet. Mm-hmm. And the light clicked probably around his junior year when he came back having to sit them 11 games. And since then, to me, he's been the best player. He's had the most potential in Ohio. Like, he's
got the most potential for sure. It's just, and I think Darius will make it, and I do think he'll be a career NBA guy. It's just, what do you see happening for him next year? Because there is still a detriment from sitting out in terms of experience against grown men.
It will.
So it'll be interesting to see what program what franchise he ends up with. And if they try and slow walk him, if they try and throw him in there, how he handles that if he's not playing a lot. Those are the things that I think the GMs are trying to predict with Darius as to how he's going to handle that. And watching him on interviews and stuff, it looks like he has matured and is much more confident and speaking better and everything like that.
Yeah, I think it's more confident in who he is. I mean, I think when he started this journey a year ago, even he trusted the people around him that they knew what was best, but nobody knew the outcome of how it was going to go when he decommitted from Syracuse and kind of betted on himself, so to speak. But I think the number one thing is you want to get drafted by the right organization, and then there has to be a plan in place. I don't think he'll see a lot of NBA time next year. I think the summer league is going to be huge for him to see how he measures out against those guys. I think that coming into training camp next year, and it's going to be a constant thing of him constantly having to work on his body and then his physical and mental. Because again, he didn't even play 30 games of college,
right?
So his body's going to be beat up, and you're going to have to learn to grind. But I think that kid's got crazy upside, and hopefully he gets drafted to the right place. And I think that from there he can take off. And I personally would love to see him at a Philadelphia type situation or somewhere like that where he doesn't have to be the man. He can just come in and find a role, get stashed away in the G League and development for a year and a half, and boom, pop up on the scene.
Well, speaking of Darius, let's turn away from the draft here for a second. You got a kid from Texas who just decided to reclassify and graduate high school, and he decided now RJ Hampton's his name. He's going to go overseas instead of playing in college, and then everybody knew LaMelo Ball was never going to play college basketball. He's going overseas now. Looking at what Darius did, do you think we're going to see more of that type of stuff?
That trend is going up. I mean, you just seen Terry Armstrong just do it today too.
Maybe not by choice.
Nah, I think he and LaMelo have the same path. Both couldn't get into an NCAA school if their dad owned the school. So it just wasn't going to work for neither one of them. But for that trend, I think the one and done's going to be done in 2 years anyway, we figure. Mm-hmm. So that trend's going to be out of there. But, I mean, even for kids who want to go to college but can't go to college, that's going to be an avenue for them. But I think once the one and done is done, I think that avenue kind of falls to the wayside, because if you go over there versus going to college, that means that you didn't have the academics or the discipline. Like what's my man's Brandon Jennings? How did that work out for him? So
Emmanuel Moody is another example of that too. I would say that it didn't work out.
I don't think that work out when you've got college, the pros is an option and you still choose to go overseas. I don't think that's an option unless you're.
Well, LaMelo Ball's a different situation because he had no choice. But you look at the RJ Hampton kid, could have gone to every college, and from what everybody says, he academically was great.
The thing about that is funny. So first session of Peace Jam, he plays with Drive Nation. And
I watched him play for a few minutes ago. One game.
He plays Drive Nation. He has a camera crew following him everywhere he goes.
Mm-hmm. I remember.
Like, hell, the bathroom.
Bunch of Moros.
Man, Moro, they had the boom. It was you really would have been outdone.
I filmed him a lot last year in Under Armour.
That's fine. I mean, Under Armour, it's like a really cheap version of what it is, man. But at the end of the day, there's no knock on you, Moro. I'm just saying, Under Armour. Under Armour. Okay, Steph Curry's. Shout out to Beat Snow wearing his Steph Curry's, baby. We know Beat Snow's sitting at home right now, sitting back and forth alone, wearing his Steph Curry's.
With a Kyle Guy jersey.
With a Kyle Guy jersey. Wait for draft is tomorrow. Snow. It's tomorrow, but.
So he's going to be standing outside the Under Armour with all the 10-year-olds getting his same
without
shoes.
question. That's the problem. That's the problem with that guy. Like, he doesn't have the testicles to walk in, and he's a Jordan guy. He's a Jordan guy. I know he wears Jordans. Like, he and Mike Pilgrim took a picture together, and he said which shoe was better. B Snow had on some classic Jordans, and Pilgrim had on some Kobe's, and I had to get a shout out to B Snow. He said, well, how'd you know that was my feet? I said, well, you haven't hit puberty yet. It was like a 9.5. So, but B Snow, albeit who he is, have the courage and the testicular fortitude that when you walk into an Under Armour event to wear your Jordans. Like, when you go to Adidas event, don't just convert. That's what we used to call a buster back in the day, Corey, when I was growing up. You live in the inner city, you guys are a gang member, and if you're a blood, you're a blood, Don't walk in the Crip neighborhood and say you a Crip. That's B Snow, man. He walks into Under Armour events and he's got an Under Armour jacket on, knowing it's the only one he owns. Wear your Jordan jumpsuit. Be a man, for God's sakes, B Snow. Me and Goodman been telling you that for years. Be a man, son.
What were we talking about before he went off?
I don't know. I just had to
RJ
roll on
Hampton.
B Snow, bro.
Oh, RJ Hampton.
RJ Hampton, yeah, film crew, B Snow. See how B Snow gets involved in that crap. But anyway, I like that idea for him. I think that he's got his dad and them had a plan coming into it. He was only gonna play one session of EYBL, just to show he could do it. Team did go 0-4 though. They did go 0-4.
Not sure the supporting cast was quite the fit for it.
Yeah, struggled, But at the end of the day, I think he's gonna set himself up just the same way other guys have overseas. I don't know where he'll pan out. I don't think he. Do you think he would if he went to college, would he have been a top 5 pick coming into the league next year?
I haven't seen anybody. I watched him for part of one game. Athletically, I haven't seen another point guard on his level. So I got to think he'd be in contention to be the first guard picked. I don't know if he would have been, but he'd be in contention.
I'd be curious to see where he would have gone, and I think that would have changed. That could have changed, where he ends up.
Right.
True.
I think the fit is the biggest thing with him.
And all signs were pointing to Memphis, and that.
I think it was Duke originally, but then with the way the commitments worked out, I don't think he was going to be.
No, I don't think he would have worked. But I think that fit at Memphis would have been crazy. That Memphis thing is going to be interesting to see this year.
Tough for my Bearcats being in that conference. They might have the 6 or 7 most talented players outside of Jaren Cumberland in the whole conference.
How did you feel about Javen coming?
Oh, I'm excited. I'm excited for Southwest Ohio, for Wilmington, Ohio.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Wilmington already, once Jaren and Javen graduated, Wilmington fans became Oakland and Cincinnati fans.
Right,
and
right.
That, it's just such a big deal for those people. I'm happy for them, and they are the fan support's going to be good. I think those kids are going to average near 40 a game between them.
Without question.
They can score the ball. Javen is always a kid who a lot of people told him he's too slow, he's too small. And he's always just been a killer, and that's level of play. Playing against high major athletes isn't going to change a whole lot for that kid. He'll be ready to play. And you were talking about being able to play if you can score the ball, and he can damn sure do that.
Oh, he can score the ball without question. He's a lights out shooter. I'm just excited because I love Coach Brandon's style of offense, and I think that they were missing that knockdown guy, and now they've got the knockdown guy with Jaren. Just happens to be a guy he's really familiar with. And then some of the transfers they've got. So I'm looking forward to seeing a new version. Me and you were talking the other day about who's the point guard who they just got, Mike Saunders.
Yeah,
Mike Saunders. So, like I said, man, at first I was like, I don't know if that works, but it's just a different style of, we got a version for a different Cincinnati style of basketball, man. And it's going to be great because Mike's a kid who can fill it up from different levels. He's got great ball handling, sneaky athleticism. So it's going to be interesting.
At the end of the day, I think the adjustment will be smaller than people think.
Oh yeah,
it's still basketball. You still have to defend to win, and you still have to score to win. And Mick knew that offensively, it just wasn't his number one priority. His number 2. Brandon knows that defensively, it's just maybe probably not even his number 2 priority, but 1A, 1B. So Lord, it's gonna be about the same thing.
No, without question. And like I told you, he's not jumping from Horizon League to the Big Ten or ACC. He's jumping to the AAC. And granted, it is high major basketball to a degree, but it's not like he's making that huge jump. And the guy's been coaching basketball his whole life, so it's going to be interesting. I just hope he gets the support he needs to get this thing going in his direction and continuing the culture that Mick started, but just in his own way. So I'm excited for UC. Xavier's going to be good. Basketball season, it seems like it just ended, but it's right around the corner, brother.
Never ends. Well, speaking of that, before we let you go, give us just a quick recap. What have you guys been doing with Winton Woods this summer?
Well, we're trying to score more than 15 points, brother. That's what we're trying to do. And all jokes aside,
that was bad.
Bad wasn't the word, man.
For those who don't know what we're referring to, Moeller knocked out Winton Woods in the district tournament by a score of a lot to 15.
It was 57. For some reason, I remember 57.
Thanks, Mar. You don't remember shit all day, but you remember that score. So thank you. I appreciate that. So yeah, at the end of the day, it was probably the worst thing I've ever felt as a coach sitting on that bench. But once it was over, and shout out to Carl Kramer because he could have probably scored 100. I was happy with our season. from where we began, from Corey, from where you saw us in the beginning to how we ended.
Oh Lord.
Yeah, I mean, it was
You went through a major personnel change right before the season.
Right, lost arguably a Mr. Basketball candidate in Greg Tribble. Shout out to Greg going to Akron. Can't wait to see what he does up there. Great kid, great family. But at the end of the day, we took a heck of a loss, and I got a lot of ragging from a lot of people. But at the end of the day, you know what? My guys had a good season. We didn't play our best that day.
I don't think you're the only one who's ever died to this sort of molar like that too.
No, everybody did.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't think you're alone in that regard.
I lost to the state champion, and I said, "Well, how'd y'all play?" Well, we lost. We lost, but low scoring game. We played ball control offense and ball control defense. But the funny thing about it was I got that score sheet still, and I blew it up, and it's going in the locker room. So for these guys here, that 15 ain't going nowhere until we get back to that point and score 16. Then I can take that score sheet and blow it up for the years after.
But you guys have a tough dynamic in the summer because Winton Woods, you're gonna have a lot of kids play football.
It is. It's a welcome dynamic because we got one of the best football programs in the state. You embrace it, you love it, because that's what the culture is. That you want to kind of feed off of that great culture that the football program has, and I think that's what we're trying to do. We're just trying to get it in a basketball way. And we've got some good young kids that we coming in to build off of.
Let me ask you this. Did my man retire from the score table?
I don't know yet. He only comes out in the fall and winter, so I need him to. Will
you tell everybody about that?
Man, we have a guy who coached during World War I who does our scorebook. And we're playing in 3 or 4 games last year, the most important one being against Elder. And he helped us lose 4 points out of our book.
And y'all only score a few games.
We only score low. And we end up losing to Elder by 3. And that wasn't the first time and it wasn't the last time, but he's
Winton Woods can't get my man LASIK or something.
LASIK won't help with that guy, man. World War I, bro.
He's up there.
He goes back to green way before, like, he'll sit there and tell you, I've been doing this for 60 years.
Do you think he was keeping the book when Joe Fred was playing?
If he was, his wrist was tired because Joe Fred's filling it up, baby.
They didn't have threes.
Didn't need threes.
Yeah.
Threes, he'd have been the leading scorer in the history of Ohio, bro. Joe Fred's from out of his mouth.
He said that? No way.
If they had threes when he was playing, are you telling me you don't think Joe Fred's the all-time leading scorer in the history of Ohio?
They're just lucky they don't have 4s.
Joe Fred, man, my guy.
He was shooting 4s. So, all right, Tuck, we'll wrap this up. Anything else you want to say, man? You got the mic.
Hey, man, you know what? It's been a pleasure. I love getting on here with you guys, man. It's a great thing that you do here. I think we need to get me on a little bit more regularly so we get more topics going on. But Marl, shout out to you. Another week you've been spared, man. Don't be scared. I'm the GOAT. In any game you want to play. So step up.
What we got to do, the two guests I get the feedback on are you and Chaz. We got to get you and Chaz on the podcast. Man,
that's my guy, man. Hey, we were shout out to Coach Tootie, baby. They stole his basketball. What kid steals Tootie's basketball?
Yeah. Let me tell you this. Have you, real quick before we finish up, you been listening to Stubbs' podcast?
Yeah, Stubbs was supposed to have me on there, bro, but I think I got booted by like all these state champion coaches.
Stubbs probably ain't having a brother on.
Oh! I didn't say it, Stubbs. I didn't say it, bro.
He had Petrus on, actually. But, no, I listened to the one with Krasanchik and the one with Cups and the one with Chaz, and they've been good, man.
So he hasn't had a brother on.
Oh, my Lord. And that's between you guys, man. I'm not going down that road.
What? What happened?
I'm not going down that road. I'm not.
What happened, Marl? Why are you red? Marl, you having a stroke? Marl's red as shit. Oh, my God. Marl, you all right? You good? All right, Marl's good. Okay, we're good. Well, listen, guys, it was great. It was great today. I appreciate y'all having me on, man. Look for me to be on Stubbs' thing soon. He said he wants to get something done before the Peach Jam, talk about EYBL. And, Stubbs was the one who told me, Tuck, you got to rally the troops.
No doubt, man.
Yep. So we got
Stubbs supports Ohio basketball. His podcast is really fun. If you get a chance to listen to it, then you're going to have a great advertisement for a tuxedo as well.
Man, love it.
So, all right, guys. For Jason Morrow, for Coach Corey Tucker, I'm Corey Albertson. Thanks for listening. This podcast is brought to you by PlayEasy.com. For players, coaches, or casual athletes looking to book a sports facility, as well as owners and managers of sports facilities, PlayEasy.com is the new one-stop site for streamlined services. If you're looking for a place to practice, play, host your tournament, camp, or other, simply go to PlayEasy.com and create a booking request for your area. Your request will go out to surrounding facilities who will respond with their best offer. Once you receive the offer that best fits your needs, book the facility and you're ready to play. For facility owners and managers, PlayEasy puts the power in your hands to maximize the usage and visibility of your facility. Register your facility for free today at PlayEasy.com. PlayEasy.com is the booking site built by athletes, coaches, and facility managers, and is proud to help bring you the Triple Double Podcast. This podcast is also brought to you by Anago Cleaning Systems. Are you tired of struggling in a dead-end job? If so, Anago Cleaning Systems has what you're looking for, an opportunity to go into business for yourself, but not by yourself. With franchising opportunities available for as little as a $2,500 down payment, purchasing an Anago franchise has never been easier. Once you own your Anago franchise, you're licensed to clean commercial facilities all around the greater Cincinnati, Dayton, or Columbus areas with the support of Anago's sales, quality control, operational, and accounting staff. Call 513-332-0033 today for your opportunity to be your own boss and grow your own commercial cleaning company under the guidance of Anago's proven and successful system. Again, call 513-332-0033 to learn more.